Everybody have told me when subsidy is gone, the price will come down. I said, no, the price will not come down. Because at 5,000 naira per litre, you still need to use it. And if you don't have sufficient supply, the price will keep going up. What does that mean? You must allow government to have some level of control because of intervention for the people. Because private sector will neglect the people, they will pursue profits. But for the sake of welfare of the people, government must have influence to say you cannot. But unfortunately, even now, government is even the one backing flotation. And government is wondering that we expect that the price should start coming down now. When you don't understand the meaning of policy you made, when you make adjustment to tax law during economic hardship, it is wrong.
The timing is wrong.
The timing is wrong. If you check the history of Russia, 3 policies that you must not combine. If you say you want your economy to grow, if you are increasing taxes, your economy will actually shrink. It will not grow. It's not up to 5 years that we signed the first tax bill under President Buhari. 5 or 6 years. We have seen twice under his administration. Now we are seeing 4 bills go to the National Assembly.
Yeah.
There are some I support, there are some I don't. So I've told you things that I support in the bill, things that are good in the bill. Let me now tell you what I don't particularly support. Any form of tax increase. 10% VAT means people will pay more for consumption. Now, what are we really paying for? Are we paying for production to grow in Nigeria? Hold it there. Go to the National Bureau of Statistics. 80% of all of our finished products are imported. 80%. 80%. From your eyeglass, to your human hair, to your wristwatch, to your tablet, to your suit, to your chain, to the clipper that barb you, to the tie, to the microphone, to the television. Who are we paying VAT to? Over which production? So, we have not been able to connect tax collected to the improvement of our economy. So that's on one hand. Taxes are compulsory and must be paid. It is not optional. So if you are saying you want to increase tax brackets, that is, people are not paying taxes, by the virtue of prof's job, he has to pay, it's deducted from source. Yes. But of how much? I'm sorry, sir. I don't know if there is any professor earning up to $500 in Nigeria today.
What?
In $500 a month. I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. Now, you now say that part of his disposable income as a professor in our university, he will now say he wants to buy a commodity of 10,000. But as year goes by, he will not pay 10,000, he will now pay 11,000. What happens to disposable income?
It diminishes.
It diminishes as the consumption. Remember that VAT is on consumption. And to be alive, he has to consume.
Yeah.
While he's giving knowledge, with his knowledge, is connecting markets and farms together. It's connecting production center, even though it's not in existence, together. So he's making his contribution. I was in Ife. Professor taught me. Different professors, doctors. I was in OAU. But are we able to connect? So when it now comes to spending, VAT jumped from 5% to 7.5. Where is the difference in our economy?
So it's to the economy.
Where is the difference? State collects most of the money. Where is the difference in state? Local government collects after. What is the difference in local government? Federal government collect 15%. Where is the difference? Where is the impact? So it's important. Another good thing in this some of these laws I've said is that people can ask questions. But who will appoint those that will determine the results? It's another conversation entirely, as Prof mentioned in his analysis. So for me, continuous increase in taxes is dangerous even now because of the economy that we run. Don't be deceived. You have seen 3.46 GDP growth rate. It is no growth. You know why? You need to find the substance of that economy. I'll give you an instance. In 2022, Nigeria's GDP was nearly $500 billion. United Arab Emirates GDP was 480 or 470 billion dollars, which means Nigeria GDP was actually higher
than that
because of our population. Today, our GDP is not up to half of 10 million people.
Yes.
And guess what? The exchange rate of UAE, Google it if you like. and you can call him when you check, has been between 3.65 or 3.69 dirhams. Not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago, almost in perpetual. The same with Bahrain. The same with Saudi Arabia. What is our offense? So it is not true that currency must be floated. And I also mentioned to you, you can confirm, some of these countries give subsidy on PMS from time
they
to
do
time.
all the time.
So there are people. America, the father of modern market capitalism, gives subsidy up to 22 trillion naira. To who? To their cotton farmers and other farmers in America. Economy that is weak, that people are poor, we say we take subsidy, one of the key parts of the economy, off them. We want to give them as cash.
Even on insulin, American government pays subsidy for those who have diabetes and they have to pay for insulin.
So here is it.
Okay.
On the tax bill, there are some that are good and there are some that are not too good. People to be prepared, they will pay more. Whether the money is collected, we go into doing what they want it to do, well, it's not for Taiwo Dele to decide. It's not for me to decide. It is people have collected 5,000 naira from. Like I saw with my eyes on TVC. A woman saying that she has collected money and she has voted. Such money will get to the pockets, to get to the control of such politicians, whosoever might have paid. And they will now decide whether they will give you road or not, whether they want to keep money for the next election or not. So here are the question. It may now discourage people from consuming. One, it may discourage even production. Yeah. Two, because that's not the only tax that will go up. There are all forms of taxes that will go up. One good thing about that tax is that withholding tax has also been reviewed. Because you take a portion of my money, hoping that when I come for my tax clearance, I will now the money can be released, which is good. But when it comes to increasing any form of taxes during economic crisis, because we are in one, is never recommended by economists. Answering your question directly regarding conditional cash transfer, I agree. Nigeria is not the only country that has done this. But I tell you, China was once the largest population in the world up until 2022, 2023, when India decided to become the largest population in the world. At that time, China thought the way of moving our people out of poverty and deprivation, and I'm referring to 60s and 70s, was via conditional cash transfer. The truth is that the people remain in poverty, hunger, and deprivation until China knew that that is not what brought Europe out of the same economic crisis. Nigeria is repeating a method that we have known in the world that has failed. I am not saying giving it to people is not good or bad. I'm saying that what is the impact? So people became poor because one sense of dependency increases. People are not able to work because they believe that something will get to them. In any case, what happened to China? China then changed strategy because at the time it was an economy that was practicing autarky, was not really trading with the rest of the world, maybe few in terms of exchange. So it was autarky. No, but here is it. What did China do? They started building factories and saying that production is the way to go. Wait a minute. President Buhari was fond of spending 500 billion when exchange rate was less than 500 naira on the same program for 8 years. How much was that? Leave President Buhari alone. President Tinubu have started the same thing. And not just the president. Governors are doing the same thing. Pull all of these non-productive monies together. It's like you have a large farm. You now have a bottled water or sachet water. You are now sprinkling it in different corners of your farm, hoping that you are doing irrigation. You have wasted the water that is insufficient. Your crops will not grow, they will all die. Poverty will be strong, will be entrenched in the system.
So you're calling this conditional transfers wastes?
It's a waste, clearly. Because let me ask you, the way you have been looking for people that has impacted. I know a few persons, but they have to be political cronies. They have to be people who have registered under political structure, political register. And this is not to attack a political party. Across all political parties, even in states, that is what President Tinubu, when he said he was going to give 80,000, as soon as he finished that broadcast, I was in a television station and asked me, I said it was a big mistake. And I spoke in about 5 other TV stations and several radio stations. I put it in the print media. I was shocked that a week after, the president reversed himself. And I was asked by a TVC, have you noticed the president reversed himself regarding what you said last week? I said it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. When you hear that your citizens are complaining that wanting to give 8,000 is not the way to go, that he reversed, I was happy. But what I met my biggest shock when I realized the president now replaced that with sharing of rice.
Exactly.
What happens to the price of rice? Surge. Why? Because an artificial demand came. You understand? Everybody now wants to buy rice. Unemployment, rice. Inflation, rice. So it cannot solve the problem. So the strategy that was used was to now say, let's share rice. Please, where is the rice? In fact, some senators and honorables will tell their people that it's their own contribution to them. So the culture of wanting to share, it is momentary. It is temporal. It cannot lift our people out of poverty and deprivation. Let's do this math. Let's assume it's 10,000. What is exchange rate today? Let's be charitable. 1,650. Let's be charitable. 1,650 divided by 10,000. What figure will it give us? I don't know if it can help us. How much will that be? 10,000 naira divided by 1,650. How much will that give us? But you see, for you to come above poverty line, not my figures, according to the UNDP, you need to earn $1.95. Somebody $2. That's about $60. So if you are giving people 10,000 naira, is it to sustain them in poverty? In the environment where they did this, it's not the same amount they were collecting. It's not 10,000. That is why I say convert your 10,000, which is less than $10, which is less than, if you like, $7 or $8 for a whole month. How much is the price of bread today? So how do we impact our people? So as a government that wants to help people, because in Germany, even if you go on social support, government will keep you there, give you some basics. However, there are opportunities that they will even inform you that there are openings.
In Germany, they will even teach you skills.
They will teach you skills. But
even if you are in jail, they will make sure that you go through a productive system in jail that will teach you about certain things that when you come out of jail, you become productive.
We have Technical here. How popular is it? It's now a bus stop. We have Technical in Osogbo.
A technical school.
How many? How popular is it? Everybody wants to go to Ife. Yeah, I finished from Ife, but everybody wants to go to AU. Want to go to UI of this world. We don't all have business in the university. Is that how popular universities are known in China?
No.
Is that how they got there?
No.
Is that how popular they are in areas where industry was promoted? And he said, I made an example the last time. I said, check, countries are not the same. China has the largest population up until 2 years ago. China understood that we cannot use service-driven GDP. It has to be production-driven GDP.
Absolutely.
So what was their target? Factories, because they were sharing money the way we were. Factories were built. They ensured they wrap up with their energy system, electricity. They also wrapped up in infrastructure, road. And they provided skill, not degree to their people. Look at where Germany is, China is today. Leave China. Go to the Southern America. Brazil did the same thing. They now produce stronger rice equipment than their counterparts in India. Because they understood that the miracle, economic miracle we are looking for is in production. That's the economic miracle. Go to America. With all the technology America is still producing. But come to my beloved country, Nigeria. 20 to 60%, gross about 80% is in non-manufacturing, non-industrial sector. You know what we have done? We have sandwiched our economic miracle. We have sandwiched it. And we are hoping that when we eat it, we will eat nothing. We'll be hitting, even in agriculture. Production is not agro-processing that is taking the lead. It's crop production. Took largest proportion of growth in it. So you cannot be giving people 5,000, 10,000 and call it all manner of name and expect that the program will have impact. No. If we are trying to sustain people to vote for us in the next election, which that's the way it appears to me, so that we can have register of those that will vote for us again and collect data, yes, that may be a political strategy. But when you think that is an economic strategy, it will fail. Now the money we are giving them has even lost value.
Completely. What's the buying power of the Naira?
So you might need to now increase the money. But what? But you know what? The truth is that there is another method of building a robust economy, a sustainable economy, energy-driven economy. Let me give you an instance, because I know people are watching us. Imagine that we say we want to solve the problem of school uniform. 40 million pupils, primary, secondary. If the only thing we can produce in Nigeria is adire from Abeokuta, if that's the only thing we can produce, let's produce it. Because when I was in secondary school, for instance, Loyola College, it is not the checkers that helped me to study. It's not the checkers. It is the content of what my teacher taught me. So why will I go to school and spend so much money from India and China and East London and expect that those things will impact my life? Will London allow that you're importing school uniform into their country? And guess what? As we're having this program, a boy and a girl are somewhere now, talking to themselves, inside one dark room. After 9 months, somebody will come out. They will put pressure on your exchange rate. Because they don't care. They don't know that the school uniform for that boy or girl or those twins to come to life will be imported. And look at all of us in this studio. My brother and I, if I was saying we are westernized and our clothes are imported. But even Magaji himself, His Highness, and my prof, their own clothes too, they are not made in Nigeria. Why? Go to Kaduna. It's moribund. It's a shadow of itself. It used to be the pride of West Africa, not just Nigeria.
Yes.
But where is it today? Even this Adire I'm talking about, they started importing it from China.
Oh, yes.
They will now tell you that, do you want Nigeria old or you want the one from China? Meanwhile, our government is looking. My governor, in what's it called? My governor in, what's it called now? Ogun, is looking. Till that market is gone. Meanwhile, my governor in Osun, what can he do? If this is what our people can do in Osun State, can we make laws to say that in the next 5 years, or in the next 2 years, in the next 1 year, this is what Osun students will use? Laugh at us, but you see the growth in our life. You see the productivity. You see employment.
Made by Osun people.
Made by Osun people. In
Absolutely.
fact, Adire, you can write names of different schools, and they can use different colors, different patterns. This is how growth will come. China has once made the worst car in the world. Not the kind of cars they do today. They are not the worst cars anymore. Because when you produce over and over and over, you see errors and you correct. And you beef up. And there's improvement. It is not when you give people 5,000. It is common knowledge that when you give a man a fish, you make him dependent. If you want him to be independent, you throw him out of fish. So that's where our economic miracle lies. It's not 5,000.
Tinubu knows that his only option to continue beyond 2027 is to rig. And he's not hiding it. So if anybody is serious about a Nigeria that works, coalition is not the answer. I say it. If we have free and fair election in Nigeria today, if it is guaranteed, Peter Obi does not need a coalition. He doesn't. He will win. Tinubu will lose. I've said it. If free and fair election is guaranteed in Nigeria and you bring a goat, you wear agbada on the coat to contest against Tinubu, he will lose. And that's why Tinubu is not planning to give you free and fair elections. The signs are there. But we can resist it. and defeat whatever rigging arrangement they put in place. They are planning for rigging on election day, but do you know what? They are taking it beyond that. They are planning for rigging leading to election day. Do you know that there is a type of rigging that takes place before election day even comes? That is where you have weaponized poverty, weaponized impunity, weaponized political party. These are tools to rig election before the election even starts. And the whole aim of these weaponized political parties, weaponized impunity, weaponized poverty, the whole aim is voter apathy. Such that the only few viewers that come out, voters that come out to vote, they are buyable. So they are using these tools to prime Nigerians for voter apathy and for vote selling and vote buying. So we cannot just focus on only election day and say we have done the job. No, we've done the job for election day, where Camp Guard and Election Watch, they take care of rigging on election day. But you see, Well Fund, Law Patrol, and Abundance Party, they take care of rigging leading up to the election day. And we must take both of them together to completely eradicate rigging in 2027. Well Fund is a tool to de-weaponize poverty in Nigeria. It is a scheme that helps Nigerians to fish, not simply give them fish. You've heard it. Give a person a fish, you feed him for the moment. The next moment he's hungry, there's nothing you can do because you don't have infinite resources. But teach him to fish, you have fed him for life. Now, if you take it further and you help him to fish, you have fed a whole country. That is exactly what Well Fund seeks to do. Financial support for feeding in exchange for participation in agricultural food production. Well Fund will not only empower Nigerians, put food on their table, it will reduce the cost of food and increase our hard currency earning from food, because food will be surplus within a very short time with Well Fund. And when you have a people that are empowered, they won't sell their vote for 500 Naira or 1,000 because they know from Well Fund they get way more than that. So Well Fund will help to de-weaponize poverty. Weaponized impunity will be handled by Law Patrol. Law Patrol will take care of weaponized impunity leading up to the 2027 election. And then Abundance Party is the tool to de-weaponize political parties. Right now, political parties have been weaponized. Even if you look at the so-called coalition right now, it is the same recycled old politicians that are forming this coalition. Yes, I will be okay with it if somebody like a Peter Obi can emerge as a presidential candidate, but it only takes care of the presidency. What about those at the National Assembly, those in the state, those in the local government? The political parties as they currently exist in Nigeria have been weaponized against credible candidates. No credible candidate with integrity and capacity and character will participate in politics as it is practiced by political parties in Nigeria today. No credible candidate will do it. Only those who, and they are very few, in fact, very rare, like Peter Obi, very rare. How many of you Nigerians can take 100 million naira to go and buy form to become president of Nigeria? Well, now why even see the 100 million? How many Nigerians have 100 million naira today? And it's not only 100 million naira. 100 million is just for form. There's expression of interest. Too. Then you now talk about money to buy delegates. After money to buy delegates, you will have to settle some bills for the political parties. They go knock you bill. And after that, you have to now start thinking about how you are going to spend money on some people at INEC, spend money on some people in the security agency, spend money on some people to buy votes and all that. Before you know it, to become president, you are looking at 20 billion naira. Number one, how many Nigerians can afford that? And in any case, why would you think that somebody will spend 20 billion naira to become president and then the person will come and care about you? When his official legitimate salary is not up to even 100 million or 1 billion. He must steal. So the political parties as they currently exist have been weaponized against Nigerians. So we must de-weaponize political party, and a tool to do that is the Abundance Party of Nigeria. These are the tools. But the one that is very critical right now is the election day solution to stop rigging. And that's Election Watch, which needs you to volunteer to become a polling unit marshal. It's at no risk to you. I know many of you are afraid. Yes, you don't want a situation whereby you talk and then they come and remove the food from your table. I can understand that. But this does not put you at risk. You are not at risk of being shot. You are not at risk of losing your source of livelihood. No risk to you. But at the end of the day, you stand to benefit from a Nigeria that works, where you will be able to earn much more than you are earning today. So no risk. There is 100% anonymity when you volunteer as a polling unit marshal. 100% safe. But the impact of your action will be felt years to come, because it will birth a new Nigeria that works for all of us. Join us to accomplish this task. The links are in the description. We are testing it right now. Help us to test it.